Hey folks, Rob here with another Rob Plays, and this time we're looking at the C64 port, and I mean port, Fantasy World Dizzy, the third of the Dizzy adventure series, which was put out by Codemasters in 1989. So the reason I'm looking at this in particular is, so normally if you've been watching the channel, you know I try to pick games I kind of dig, or I try to always pick, you know, I don't want to be one of those ranty games people. And if you watch my December update, you'll have seen I got the last of the Dizzy adventure series, Crystal Kingdom, and I sort of talked about how that was particularly special on the C64 side of things because it was the first one that actually felt like a C64 game. After that, I thought I'd record this and show this in action so you could see what the other games of this series were like on the C64. I mean, it doesn't look too auspicious to start with, other than, yeah, the graphics are a little Spectrum-esque. So, the basic plot line of this is Dizzy and Daisy were out in a forest, and Daisy got captured and was locked in a wizard's tower. Dizzy was also captured and thrown in a dungeon, and he needs to escape, rescue her, and also collect 30 bloody coins. So let's dive in. So, I mean, controls are pretty basic. Left, right, fire is inventory. And this is where it gets weird, of course. Because I upgraded the inventory system here from the previous game, Treasure Island, where hitting fire brings up the menu and you select items. You can carry 2 by default, and later on you can get something that gives you a third. It's been a long time since I've played this properly. So in this case, we now need to get out. We give our handy apple, which Dizzy had for giving to his teacher. Yeah, I don't get it either. And you can sort of see here, just watch the redraw. Like, that's it. I mean, fundamentally, these games got converted from the Spectrum, and I don't mean, well, more ported than converted. I mean, look at the frame rate for things like that. Fire was terrible, and you know, those refresh rates. And that's really where the problem lies. Is these games, because, you know, market reasons, Codemasters felt it was better to, you know, reuse the Spectrum stuff. And you know, you can get away with the graphics. Okay, I can give that. I mean, and the music, in fact, is all taken from Fast Food, which is one of the sort of side Dizzy games, a little Pac-Man-esque arcade game. Rather than, you know, getting that covered. So, and this is where things go wrong. I mean, have a look at that. I've just dropped the boulder there as a resting spot. And while Dizzy himself is a sprite, the boulder itself clashes with those platforms, which looks really off. So, shameless plug, I do love that. I just love how shameless it is. So, what I'm doing now, I'm just trying to collect some of the coins. And this is something else, you know, if I were to go back, and I can't put the railing down now, but if I were to put it down, things wouldn't be clear. So I've got a coin. So, this is one of the things, I mean, I've played it a bit on the Spectrum, which is basically the original version. Ah, close. And that's one of the things, that jump significantly plays well differently. Like, so, as a port, it's slow, the graphics they're kind of bland. I mean, I think this art style, you know, is more suited to the Spectrum's colours. I mean, the C64 palette doesn't have as high saturation, which is why you'd probably use that. And honestly, you really need the multicolour. I think the multicolour would benefit. I mean, so I've got another coin. I try to get a lot of these as I can. We talked to another of the Yoke folk, Denzel, and we get our backstory. And a rope. We need that for later, so let's... I mean, at the moment, this is... I mean, I haven't really got into any tricky puzzles yet. I mean, other than that introductory one. So I might try and do this now rather than later. So we've got this rope. Up, down, up. We need to use the rope to basically tie that gator up. Yes. So I've landed on the gator, I use the rope, and I tie the jaws up. Score. I always mess that timing up. Now, No! Insta-kill water. I thought eggs could float, but hey, what do I know? Like, it's a personal frustration, but just how, like, the refresh rates and the slowdown does get on my nerves after a while, to be honest. I mean, and this is sort of the pattern for all of the games up to Crystal Kingdom. You know, you would have, you know, kind of fun platformy game, platformy adventure, but you'd have, that jump, where it just sits there. But you just have all this additional, like, the delays, it doesn't... Alright, got that key. And just as I said, to be honest, the latency is really what gets involved. I mean, you know, you see these games on the Spectrum and they're playable, they're, you know, significantly faster to play. And here it just chugs, and it's a real disappointment. I mean, I think where you know, actually, I should take that boulder because I'll need that later. Ooh, that was close. One of the things that gets me nuts is the way the inventory works, where, you know, when you select an item, you can drop it, and dropping it also uses it if it's in an appropriate location. And there's a puzzle that I'll get to in a bit, where it took me quite a long time just to remember how to do it, because it's like, how do I put the positioning? Alright, we need this bone. So yeah, I mean, the main reason I really wanted to look at this was to sort of contrast it. I don't know when I'll get up to doing Crystal Kingdom, but, you know, these games aren't really fondly remembered. I mean, I think why I grabbed this, I actually grabbed this back in the day. Grabbed the disc release, which was 15 bucks Australian, so anyway, I don't even know if in the UK it was ever released on disc, but I picked it up in a store. Now, this is the puzzle I'm talking about. So I need to drop the boulder here, then I need to go into the cave, take this boulder, then go to the entrance, drop the bone, and the bone will keep him. And I need to get out of the way before he goes into the cave. And there he's out of, and then the armor rog is out of the way. Yoink. And this next screen is one of my biggest annoyances. Ah, I timed that wrong. You're supposed to get it so when the Dizzy Hawk is in the middle of the clouds, you go and run for it. If you're under the clouds, you're fine. But I always get the side wrong. Alright. I'm not going to go and get the coin for now. Okay, drop boulder. Alright. No. Yes. Okay. I told you, that part of the game is tense. So let's go up. Past the armor rog. Alright. The cattle. I'll leave the key for now, I need that later. I mean, I have to admit, I like, you know, these puzzles where you've got to actually, you know, drop the boulders. But it would be nice if the actual water, you know, was animated properly so it would go up. You know, and I think that's a lot of stuff you could do if, you know, you put your energy into actually porting this properly. You know, if you did a proper conversion, you made something that, that's game over. I don't really think there's much more to say there. I mean, I could get a bit further than that, but, you know, one of these games is a bit of a long exercise. So I don't know whether later it's worth me putting together a linking, or maybe linking to a long play or something, but it's been a long time since I actually got pretty far, and I think that's got a little further than where I did just then, to be honest. But as you can see, you know, it's sort of, you know, a lot of the slowness, the flickering, all those little pauses in menus and screen refreshes, it really slows the game down and slows the flow down, and it makes everything plod along a lot. And I think these games really, as a fun, cutesy adventure, really shouldn't be plodding along like this. And it feels like a complete waste of the hardware. You know, I mean, according to, you know, the cover, the inlay, it's like 50 screens, and it's like, I think with a bit of work and a competent programmer, you could seriously fit all that into a C64 text mode, use multicolor graphics, multicolor sprites, and have something that played a lot faster. But I guess, you know, obviously, look, let's be honest, it's obviously a budget thing, and, you know, it's always a little disappointing in the end, because, you know, if you ever saw my video on Chase HQ, that game was utterly destroyed by being converted. And the Dizzy games are mostly in the same boat. And there's a lot of other C64 games that did that. And I never understood why. I mean, is it a market thing? I mean, I know when you look at the UK market in particular, you know, you're mostly dominated by micros with the Z80, you know, the Spectrum and the CPC. While the C64 was the lone 6502, and because it's more about its sprites and its character set, you know, emulating tile maps, you get a little more of that. So, as I said, it's a bit of an underwhelming thing. You know, the music was taken from fast food, not even covering this music from the Spectrum version of the game. And that feels a little lazy as well. Like, there's just all these little things that add up to just make the game a bit of an underwhelming experience. So yeah, I hate to do a play of a game that is underwhelming like that, but there you go. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please do consider leaving a thumbs up or a comment down below. If you want to see new videos as I release them, go ahead and hit the subscribe link for more.